including the family of Boniface Kariuki, the hawker who was shot in the head by a rogue police officer during the anti-police brutality protest in Nairobi, which family has confirmed that he is brain dead. Speaking to the press, family spokesman Emily Wanjera said that medics at Kenyatta National Hospital confirmed that Mwangi's organs are still functioning, but his brain is dead. The family added that there are more bullet fragments in his brain that have not yet been extracted during a past briefing. Kariuki's father, Jonah Kariuki, revealed that the hospital bill had hit 1 million and was continuing to rise daily. The Great family also called for the judicial system to dispense justice by convicting and sentencing the police officers responsible for the crime.
The reality of the things, what is happening is that Boniface Mwangi Kariuki is confirmed to be brain dead. So that's where and how far we are. The hospital bill now is quite higher. We are at 3-point-something now. So we are praying and hoping now for the well-wishers, because now when somebody has been confirmed brain dead, we know what it means. So the brainstem of Boniface Mwangi Kariuki is not working any longer. So for all the well-wishers, we as the family of Boniface Mwangi Kariuki, we cry upon you, because a lot of hopes and promises were being given to us, but none has come through. So on behalf of that, we were given a pay bill for the medical bill fund, whereby is 76,82,551 account. It's your name, and the name that to reflect out of that pay bill, it's Boniface Mwangi Kariuki Medical Fund. There is one thing that medically it's being told that for somebody to be confirmed he's dead, the heartbeat has to stop. But the heartbeat is slightly there. You get it? There is the brain, the heart condoned under 3 stems. Actually, it's 2: the brain and the spine. The rest of the organs are still working, but the brain is fully dead. It's completely dead. So the brain stem, when we say the brain stem, it's the brain itself. Sasa tukikwambia umekufa akili, huko kweli? Tumeachia daktari atuambie sasa ya kwamba ameisha. The only thing we are requesting is justice for Boniface Mwangi Kariuki. That's the only thing we need, justice for our child.
Tumeambiwa brain yake haifanyi kazi. Sasa tukujua kuanzia hapo sasa ni gani. Tujaambiwa ameondoka, lakini tumeambiwa brain yake haifanyi kazi, lakini roho inapiga. Sasa hiyo ndio ingine tunaomba usaidizi kutoka kwa Kenya.
Now, you know, medically speaking, when somebody is said to be brain dead, it means they're literally dead. The heart and the other organs are basically being supported by machines, but he's not there. And when you're brain dead, you're literally dead. In other countries, Western countries, when you're declared brain dead, most of the time what they do is they switch off the machine. The family is given the choice. Do you want to keep him alive, or do you want to switch off the machine? I don't know about Kenya, but it's very, very unfortunate that somebody one day decided just to shoot this guy for no apparent reason and has ended a life, you know. And that's the reason why Raila Odinga, the leader of the Orange Democratic Movement, has strongly criticized Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen for his recent directives to police officers, which were widely perceived as orders to shoot to kill. Speaking at a church service in his hometown of Bondo, the former Prime Minister denounced Murkomen's remarks, claiming that they nearly amounted to state officials acting lawlessly. According to Raila, not only was a shoot-to-kill order unconstitutional, but it could further erode the public's confidence in the law enforcers.
You witnessed a lot of bloodshed in the country recently. Children, people who went out to demonstrate, some of them died. Some of them died, some of them shot by the police officers. Because they are criminals who came out to do deliberate destruction of property. Yes. Those ones we could condemn in the strongest terms possible. But the same breath, we must also censor the police. The police should never ever shoot to kill. Police have no license to kill human beings. If somebody has committed a crime, arrest that person and take him before a court of law, charge him. So anybody giving instruction to a police officer that, oh, kama mtu na karibia police station, piga risasi. My shame. Shame on you. Shame on you. We should not encourage taking away of life in a way which is not constitutional. If somebody has committed a crime, that person should be subjected to law. Arrest that person and take him to a court of law, charge him, and let the court find him guilty and then sentence him. This is the civilized society. That is the society that we want today. And therefore, we condole with those people who have lost their loved ones. But at the same time, we condemn the criminals who deliberately went to destroy people's properties, burning courts, burning police stations. That is not a solution. So we must find a way as a country. This country, we need a proper way. We need a national convention to talk about the way forward, the Kenya we want. That's what is going to solve all the problems that we have.
You know, on Thursday, shortly after delivering a media briefing on the state of the country in the wake of the Gen Z protests, Murkomen appeared to suggest that police officers should resort to using their firearms if they feel threatened inside a police station.
Na tumeambia polisi, mtu yoyote mwenye atakaribia police station, piga yeye risasi. Mtu yoyote. Ni sawa, lakini mtu mwenye anajaribu kuenda kuiba bunduki ati anaenda kunyang'anya polisi bunduki, ama mtu mwenye anatupiwa mawe polisi anataka kuua polisi ati atakuja kupembelezwa. Unafikiria bunduki ni mandazi? Lakini wananchi wa area hapa mwenye anakuja kuripoti, mwenye amekuja kukosea nini, mwenye amefanya nini, anaandikiwa, unapeleka kotini, hiyo anapelekwa kotini. Lakini mtu mwenye anakuja kuchukua bunduki, ati mtu atakuja, ati anakuja kuchoma, ati anachoma police station. Wacha niulize nyinyi mtajenga hii police station? Hapana. Mko na pesa ya kujenga hii police station? Mko nayo? Wewe kijana, ule unaongea mbaya hapa. Wewe uko na pesa ya kujenga police station? Na hii maneno unaongea mingi ni hata koti hatuna. Hapa mambo ya kuchoma police station hii ni ya mwisho.
Kwamba hatuwezi kukubali tena polisi apikwe, police station ipikwe ama ofisi ya serikali. Hatuwezi. Hiyo jana ilikuwa ya mwisho. Mmenisikia? Yes sir. Hii bunduki mmepewa hapa, mimi sijapewa. Na mkupewa ndio ikue decoration. Mtu akijaribu police station anakuja kuchukua bunduki, anataka kupiga wewe maisha yako. Chiokoe kwanza. Hiyo story ingine ya sijui ati ulifanya nini, hiyo tutafanya baadaye na mimi nitakuwa mbele kukutetea.
Thank you, sir.
Tumeelewana?
Yes, sir.
Please, hiyo ya jana ikuwe ya mwisho. Police station na police officer. Unatoroka tu wakati unaona ile yenye uko nayo hata ukipeleka 5 6 bado ni wengi.
But you know, Murkomen has beaten a hasty retreat, and he says he was actually misquoted and that is not what he meant. You and I are used to that, right? Anyway, former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Mutiangi says the growing discontent among the Gen Z youth has exposed a deepening leadership vacuum in the country. Speaking after attending a church service at the Presbyterian Church of East Africa in Thika Town, Matiang'i lamented that leaders have resorted to blaming each other or inciting divisions between communities. He criticized both government and opposition leaders for failing to take responsibility and provide leadership as the country struggles to address the concerns raised by the Gen Z. Matiang'i expressed concern that leaders whose statements should inspire public confidence are instead stoking public anger.
This is a time for the country, and what is being called upon now, it's also a leadership moment. Let's stand up and do the right thing for our country. And it cannot be based on excuses, some of them laughable. That, you know, I don't know who, I saw them on the TV, they're dropping money. So when you saw them dropping money, why didn't you arrest them? Because, you know, when leaders tell us these things, and I've said this several times before, I mean, as a minister, if I was a cabinet minister myself, as a minister, I would never make allegations. Sasa niwaambie nyinyi wananchi mfanye nini? Hamuna pingu, hamuna polisi, hamwezi kukamata mtu. Sasa nikuje kulia huko kwa wananchi, mfanye nini nyinyi wananchi? Let us put all our energy now on the solutions to our country. We need a stable country, we need a progressive country, we need a country that works together, and we need a country where we can live together. Let's stop this business of now starting to drag excuses. Is one community, it came from where? Which community? I mean, we are all a community of suffering people. It's one community. We are not fine. This cycle of violence and disagreement and protest really has to come to an end. What our people and our young people particularly are seeking is that they are listened to. And our leaders, particularly our leaders in government, who are the ones who have consequential convening power, are the only ones who can put people together in the manner in which even civic leaders are suggesting, so that we can focus on the solutions to the challenges and the problems that we are dealing with. But it cannot be that, you know, when something happens like happened last Wednesday, we now begin saying things that are very interesting. Honestly speaking, it's so difficult to even try to repeat some of the things I'm hearing. How can you say, now we are talking about one community, or saying, you know, the people who were on the streets came from Muranga and Nyeri, and then they went all the way to Kericho and Kisii and Kakamega and Mombasa. So there was no one in Muranga and Nyeri that day. Everyone left Muranga and Nyeri, went to Busia and Kisumu. Honestly, Narok, we are, you know, that is worse than a joke.
When you're dealing with mob psychology, sometimes when people are raging, you have to look for a solution to bring their temper down. And I think the only way out of this stalemate today, it is not the tear gas, it's not the order to shoot and kill, it is not arrest, it is dialogue.
Now you and I agree that, you know, this country needs a lot of conversation. We need to talk with one another, not to one another. We need to talk with one another so that we get to a point where we understand one thing. It is not Ruto, neither Rigathi, no Matiang'i, or all these guys that are answer to what we are going through. They are not. They will not sort out our problems. And so all of them are trying to tell you this one is the it, this one is the enemy, this one is what, this one is that. All of them. They're after your soul, your emotions, and all that. But you need to make a decision. First and foremost, somebody would ask you, which side are you at? Well, I'm on either or neither. I'm for the armies of God. I want that which God wants for this country. And it's justice, where you serve people right, because the throne of God is set upon justice. So look for the person who looks or has a record of giving justice to the people. And once you get that one, you may be on the right track. The Bishop of the AIC Church, Bomet, Paul Korir, has called on Kenyans to respect the presidency as it's the symbol of unity in the country. The bishop says the continual erosion of respect of the leadership and authority in the nation was dangerous as it could lead to anarchy. He called on Kenyans to disagree respectfully with their leaders.
We are seeing the political temperatures are rising every other day, and we are asking the opposition. We, the church, are saying, opposition, please, let us respect the presidency. Let us respect the presidency. He is the symbol of unity in this country. He may be President Ruto today, it might be you tomorrow. Let us cultivate a culture of respect and decorum and civility. Again, on the flip side of the same, those in authority, those who have been given this authority by God, they have been given this responsibility. We pray that we need to talk and be kind to people. Let us handle people with respect and dignity. Whatever we respond, however we are answering, let us answer with a very, very encouraging language. People need hope. Those in the government and those in the opposition, we want to listen to these young people and ask ourselves, how can we handle them? So we as the church, yes, we are saying we are praying for them, but at the same time, we want to take the responsibility of reaching out to them through our youth programs. Let us engage them. Let us understand what they want to hear, what they want really in their lives. How can we listen to them? How can we persuade them? And how can we give them hope? Even if you are boiling in anger, kindly don't actually go beyond what is expected of you. Be responsible as well. Young as you may be, but we are urging and persuading you that be responsible. We want to ask the government, as we continue celebrating and thanking God for this country, for transitioning from NHIF to SHA, we still want to appeal, we on behalf of the church, we want to appeal to the management of SHA, Social Health Authority, to consider many people who cannot afford to pay for SHA for one full year. Let them pay every month as it is done to those who are employed.
Meanwhile, Christians have been told to pray for the country to save it from destruction. Speaking at the Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu, lead pastor Felix Gavoy says he believes that God is doing a new thing through the Gen Zs, and that this has to be prayed through so that the devil does not destroy it.
Juu zimefungiliwa taa mpaka imewekwa mafuta na imewakishwa taa. Unaona ile lantern, the lamp. Sasa na yeye pia alisema atatamaki the same. Now it is many years since 1975. That road is not admirable. So our leaders are not understanding that our young people are realizing the desperation of their parents. Things that are promised and they never come. And I don't think whether what God is doing to this nation through Gen Zs, I don't think whether there is any politicians that will stop it. Now amens are not there. But it's okay, I'm speaking what the Lord is saying. I don't think there is any politician who will stop it. And me, I would advise any politician who cares to listen to God, because I know many don't care to listen to God. Because I think a lot of our politicians, the moment they get the seat of power, wanajionanga wao, they are the almighty. Wao ni wa milele na milele. But I want to remind them that they are also human beings. They should not think that they are untouchable. Actually, kuna mfalme moja alifikiria he is untouchable. Na alikuliwa na funza amekalia kiti cha ufalme. He was eaten by insects when he was still seated on the throne. So the attitude of our politicians that we are untouchable, we will do what we want to do, that is a thing God is fighting in this country. Ya kwamba we will do it, mutadu. I think that is what God is fighting in this country. And he's doing it through Gen Zs. Number 2, I don't believe the Gen Zs banned anybody's shop. I live in this country. I'm not a stranger. I don't believe the Gen Zs, they broke anybody's shop. But I believe there are politicians who, how do you get 100 men wote wako na makasi ya kukata kufuli? How can that be a coincidence? How can it be a coincidence? Ya kwamba watu wametokea majioni wote wana silaha ya kukata duka na kupora kila kitu. I don't believe those were Gen Zs, and I believe it was done by a politician. And as I speak here, I believe the writing for those politicians is on the wall. I believe so. I'm not a bishop, because I know a politician, they ask, who are you to speak? I am Reverend Kavoy. I'm not a bishop, but I speak as a man of God who has the Spirit of God. The writing of politicians who is organizing chaos and losses for Kenyans. Watu wamekopa madeni kwa mabank, unatuma guns, wanaenda kukata makufuli, wanachukua. The writing, they will never occupy those chairs again. They will never occupy again, those who are doing that. Number 3, the last one before we pray. I don't believe Kenyan's police wanaweza kushindwa kuweka usalama wa Wakenya na mali ya Wakenya. I don't believe.
All right, let's take a look at how the dailies are screaming out today. And it says how the nation, let's start with the Daily Nation. It says how senior schools will be categorized. How senior schools will be categorized. It's a pretty interesting read, at least so that you can know the progression of the CBC. Because I don't know, man, if there was an education system that has taken a lot of time for people to crack, is this. People don't, even up to now, people don't know how the schools will be categorized. So secondary school that will transition into senior schools in January 2026 have been grouped based on their ability to offer various career pathways, subject combination under the competency-based education. You have, in the old system, we have the national schools, extra county schools, and sub-county schools. The new system is going to have all 3, 2, 2, 2. So mandi uelewe. And then, you know, most of the time when it's about military, you get concerned when things are being done to the military that might get them upset. Because now, Ministry of Defense says the move aligns with the best military practices both regionally and globally. If you're wondering what practice is, this practice is soldiers will begin paying for their meals. Well, hey, government scraps food subsidy programs for Kenya Defense Forces, and then they bring in the pay-as-you-eat system, which is basically scheduled to start tomorrow. The Supreme Court is set to deliver a landmark judgment on whether children born out of wedlock under Islamic law are entitled to inherit the estate of their deceased father. But they are his children, aren't they? Family of short hawker awaits his final breath. This is such a heartbreaking story. As I said, you know, the doctors said he's now brain dead. They say his heart is still beating slightly. His other organs are functioning, but the brain is completely, irreversibly dead. Link between higher education, productivity, and leadership. And then you have principals propose new fees, junior school rifts. And then how youth protest revive Gachagwa's political career. Kionjuri accuses Rigathi of plotting regime change from within while still in office. And then why Gen Z movement is a threat to traditional political kingpins. Then the back page, Nairobi United fairy tale run to continental football, and Chelsea boss lashes out at Club World Cup organizers after another weather delay. And then we take a look at, okay, let me do the star. Excuse me. Mask hawker Boniface Kariuki is brain dead. That's what the family says. Lack of pay rise exposing Kenyans to shrinking buying power. Household to take a hit despite soft tax punch. Then NSE shrugs demos as market cap rises 3.6%. And then you have household to be hit. I'm actually feeling hungry. Nimeanza kusikia njaa asubuhi, Hiyo ni dalili ya minyoo nini? Then we have Mombi, Kenya must invest in AI upskilling and collaborations. City Hall, why we evicted rent defaulters from our estates. And then Twiga Tours, Kenyan SME that is Africa's most responsible travel firm. Safari leaders. Then this story of KDF, where the state has ended free meals. KDF will start paying for whatever they eat. And then Kenya and African Union welcome US-led peace deal between DRC and Rwanda. Then unstoppable Naibus. Best day of my football career, says Munyoti, as Nairobi United stand Gor Mahia in cup final. And I saw there was violence. Makalatas. And then the Standard newspaper, it has an interesting headline. No, thank you. You have Police Commander Nyandarua, let's not let anger get the better of us. We must learn how to manage our frustration constructively. These are statements that are being made by police officers. And there's a constable, by the way, this guy has the guts of a buffalo. And he says, was telling Murkomen, you're a liar. You lied, you will not protect me. All you will protect are your interests. I'll be sacrificed in court before a judge, and I'll be sentenced to prison. And he's responding to what Murkomen had told police officers, that if you shoot these guys, we'll back you. Let's see how the guys who shot Kariuki will be backed. As man police shot all but dead. Aki, these two officers. This guy who shot this guy in the head, what in the world was he thinking? I think it would be nice if his picture is constantly put so that we know how he looks like. How do you surely? Koinange's 2.4 billion property in Nairobi to be auctioned. Oh, man. The land battle is part of 44-year-old war to distribute 30 billion empire left by the politician. He served in the governments of Jomo Kenyatta and Daniel Arap Moi. Yani greed has caused these guys not to agree that now property has to be auctioned. Makalatas. Murkomen shoot to kill order backfires as officers return fire over directive. Anytime you, as a cabinet secretary, mostly for interior, and for any leadership position, when you give a directive, and mostly so, let's say in the disciplined forces, when you give a directive and the officer that you've given directive are now defying you and giving you other giving other directives in public, answering you, no, you've lost authority. This guy should just move on to something else because I think he's lost his place. Kuppet cancels strike, pushes on with pledge to talk with the government. Isiolo governor's fate in the hands of the Senate. This guy is gone. Blatant defiance, uniform scandal that is eroding police discipline. How revolt against tax bill soured Ruto's relationship with the youth. And then Matiang'i and the blame game. Start talking. I think that's the first mature thing a leader has said. Then Ambani returns to restore lost glory at AFC Leopards. All right, we're going to go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll start discussing some of these things, including the proposed anti-demo bill, which I think is the most ridiculous thing I've ever come across. All right? Don't go away.